We're going to show you the setup of the ProGuide XL blind straight out of the box. This is actually not as bad as it looks. What I do first is separate the parts, okay? Make sure that we've got all the like parts, and these are all just parts of the frame. So what we're going to do right now is unfold the canvas, okay? All right, now we're going to start into this by putting our door frames together just to get the extra pieces off of the floor. You can see that you got a hole and a push button. Those line up. There's one done. And there's the other, okay? So we know we've got that finished. Okay, now we're gonna start on the frame of the blind itself. Now you don't put it in yet, but I just wanna show you the inside of this. It's a pretty big blind. It's going to take a pretty big frame. Okay? So what we're going to do is on top of the blind, we're going to go ahead and kind of lay the frame out. Okay? And this piece will go up here. And that piece will go over there. So now you're starting to see how this makes sense in putting it together, okay? Don't let it scare you. It's really not as bad as it looks, okay? So you've got your frame pieces, you've got your door pieces, which we'll put over here for the time being, your headrest and your footrest. It's really simple, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this part of the header frame, push that button in, and those are connected, okay? Easy enough. Turn it around, do the same thing with the foot. And push that button, slide it in until it clicks. That piece is done, okay? Now, you don't put these two together just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and take the header part of this and get our headrest installed on here. And you can see these will screw into here, and then these are going to be your supports. Now this takes a Phillips head or a straight head screwdriver, either one. So I'm going to grab a screwdriver. Now I'm going to unscrew this, hang on to that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. And then we're going to install this upright in there and then reinstall the screw. Flathead screwdriver, and go ahead and give that 2 or 3 good turns to get her locked in there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like so. These are made to fit just like a glove. Take your screwdriver and get that started. All right. Now that's done. So this is actually going to be ready to go in to the blind skin itself. Put this part and go ahead and fit it into the skin itself. Okay, so we're going to have the first part of the frame in the blind. We want to make sure that we push this part of the frame all the way to the end of the material. You can see right up here that you want to go all the way to the end of the material, okay? Because there's not a lot of slack room left in these blinds. The skin is made to fit, so that part's in there. Now we'll turn around. All right, now we're going to start on putting the footer together. Okay, we're going to back that screw out. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And that's going to let us put our foot bar in there. And just for reference, the lock nut that goes on here is a number 10 metric. So if you're not using a crescent wrench, you can grab yourself a number 10 box end, and that should take care of you. Go back that out right there. Now, let me grab this foot area right here. We're going to take our foot rail. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and start this one by just putting it in there. Go ahead and thread your screw through there. Okay, like so. One of the nice things about this blind is that you only have to assemble it once. This looks kind of labor intensive, but it's not that bad. It just takes a few minutes, and after it's done, it's done. So we'll go ahead and put our number 10 box end on there and make sure that all is snug. Now, you never have to tighten everything or anything on these blinds overly tight. There's no reason to. You know, if anything, you'll wind up breaking something, but just to where the threads are grabbing that plastic. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And everything's at the right angle, so everything does fit together just like it's supposed to. Okay, start this screw. All right, go ahead and run it up. And then we'll start our number 10 lock nut again. Like I said, you only have to put this together one time. We'll go ahead and lock that bad boy down a little bit. Get some leverage on here. Just enough to where the plastic engages on that is more than enough, okay? We should be done with that for a while. Now what I'm going to do is now we're going to take the footer part of this and put it inside the foot bag of this skin, okay? There really are no shortcuts when it comes to putting this together. The one thing you do want to remember is to get your foot bar and your headrest bar put on before you put the frame in the blind, because it's really quite labor intensive if you try to do it without it. It's really not a step saved, and you'll probably be sorry that you did it. But we got the bottom down there. And just push till you're at the end. Now, the next step is to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be as far as the length of the blind, making sure that your bars are all pushed down, and you can see how it's starting to form the outside footprint of the blind, okay? And there's a joint that's down in the bottom of the blind